Elections in Ukraine may take place within 3 months. This declaration was made by President Vladimir Zelenskiy in response to accusations from Washington that he was stubbornly sticking to his position as president. However, there is a catch. The Ukrainian president wants guarantees of security and a cessation of hostilities during the voting. Negotiations on a peace plan are still continuing in the background. The final, revised version is to be received by the Americans from Kiev and then forwarded to Moscow. Evacuation. This word is repeated almost daily along the entire length of the front line in Donbass. People still live here, just 10 kilometers from the front line. Despite constant bombing and drone attacks, they do not want to leave. No, I won't go now. Maybe another time, but not now. There may not be another time. Volunteers who travel from village to village, from house to house, can do nothing more in such situations. The defense retreats from a few to a few dozen meters every day. What is happening to the city? It is gradually being occupied. There are fewer and fewer intact houses. Fewer and fewer people are staying. There is more and more destruction. Every day there are more and more attacks, both from drones and artillery. There is currently no prospect of turning the tide on this section of the front. Ukraine does not have the forces that will be able to not only put up effective resistance, but also push back the Russians. There is increasing talk in government circles of a general mobilization in the event of a failure of peace negotiations. This is to be the last line of defense.
It's not easy with Russia because Russia has the upper hand, and they always did. They're much bigger. They're much stronger in that sense. I give Ukraine I give the people of Ukraine and the military of Ukraine tremendous credit for the, bravery and for the fighting and all of that. But, at some point, size will win generally.
In a recent interview, the US president also spoke about the need to hold elections in Ukraine that would answer questions about President Zelenskyy's democratic mandate. He responded unambiguously. Organizing elections is not a problem, but the West must guarantee their security. I declare openly that if the United States of America, together with my European colleagues, helps me to ensure the security of the elections, Ukraine will be ready to hold elections within the next 60 to 90 days. And I personally have the will and readiness to hold them. Then, in order for this to succeed, I ask the members of our party, and in fact our parliamentarians, to prepare draft laws on the possibility of changing the legal basis and electoral law under martial law. Ukrainians themselves are very skeptical about the possibility of organizing elections. First of all, there is the issue of logistics in the frontline areas and on the front line itself. Secondly, the Russians will certainly try to disrupt them, even if they declare a ceasefire for that time. When the country is at war, when so many of our men and women are fighting, so many people have left and part of Ukraine's territory is temporarily occupied, elections cannot take place properly. The president of Ukraine is returning to Kiev from a series of meetings in Western Europe. After talks in London, Brussels and the Vatican, the final version of the modified peace plan will go to Washington and from there to Moscow. Given the lack of agreement for the surrender of Ukrainian territory, the Kremlin will almost certainly reject the proposal.